Hi, I'm Kirsty Davidson, a recruitment specialist at Skills Provision. Today I'm going to cover international recruitment and the EOR landscape in the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic's labour market remains tight and internationally oriented. Unemployment has hovered among the lowest in the EU, while the employment rate reached about 75.5% in August 2025, underscoring persistent skills shortages that push employers to recruit beyond national borders. Despite a cyclical slowdown in 2023, the Ministry of Finance expects joblessness to average 2.6% per annum. This keeps upward pressure on pay and compels employers to look abroad for skills, especially in engineering, IT, advanced manufacturing, healthcare, and some business services roles. In 2024, the foreign workforce in the Czech Republic was estimated at about 942,000 people, roughly 18–19% of the total workforce, marking a record high. This reflects both EU free movement inflows and third country recruitment via government schemes. In mid-2025, the government rebalanced visa quotas to favour skilled professionals, expanding places for highly qualified applicants, including from Asia, while curbing low-skilled inflows. Radio Prague International reported planned allocations including targeted slots for Indian IT specialists and hundreds of highly qualified applicants from China and other Asian countries. Media in the expat press likewise highlighted the tilt towards skilled roles. For local employers, that means faster lanes for senior engineers, developers, researchers, and technical managers, while entry-level manufacturing roles may face tighter access. Digital Nomad Program, aimed at top IT, and, per recent consular guidance, some marketing professionals from a defined list of countries. It provides an expedited route for high-skilled, location-independent work tied to non-Czech employers or self-employment. Local firms sometimes tap this talent pool on a contractor basis or as a bridge into standard employment. Free access for 9 countries since July 2024, nationals of countries such as the UK, US, Canada, Japan, and Korea enjoy simplified access to the labour market in defined circumstances, reducing administrative lead times for local hiring, though immigration and registration steps still apply. Practical takeaways for Czech employers. Use the right program per role. For production and technician roles, the qualified worker pathway remains the workhorse. For senior tech, the highly qualified key and research tracks, or blue card, are typical. The 2025 quota recalibration means better odds for high-skilled approvals, so build requisitions accordingly. Ministry of Industry and Trade. Expect scrutiny on low-skilled hiring. Caps have been tightened for some source regions and low-skill categories. Timelines can lengthen, and placement certainty can drop. Plan buffers into project staffing. Mind equal treatment rules. Whether you hire directly or via an agency, Czech law requires parity of pay and conditions with comparable employees. This is enforced actively, particularly in agency employment. The current EOR landscape. No standalone EOR concept in law. Czech Republic statutes do not recognize the Anglo-American EOR-PO construct as a separate legal category. In practice, EOR offerings must map onto one of 2 lawful arrangements: temporary assignment via a licensed employment agency, commercial labour leasing, or unpaid inter-employer secondment under Section 43A of the Labour Code, a non-commercial, exceptional arrangement between 2 employers. Anything else risks being deemed illegal labour leasing. Labour leasing is governed primarily by Act No. 435, Employment Act, and the Labour Code, with an amendment effective 1st of January 2024, tightening conditions for agencies, licensing, documentation, and equal treatment controls. For end users, the client companies, this translates into higher compliance expectations around contracts, health and safety, wage parity, and record keeping. What a compliant EOR setup looks like in the Czech Republic. If you are an international firm without a Czech entity, the legally robust route is typically to engage a licensed Czech employment agency that employs the worker on its Czech payroll with Czech employment contract, assigns them to you as the user under a written temporary assignment agreement, processes Czech payroll taxes and social contributions, and ensures equal working and pay conditions with your comparable employees. This tripartite structure is the local analogue of EOR, Reputable global providers partner with a licensed Czech agency or hold a local license. Using an unlicensed provider to front employment can trigger fines and reclassification risks. Duration and limitations. Temporary assignment is by nature time limited, commonly up to 12 consecutive months per user, with narrow exceptions. And the user directs day-to-day work, but does not become the legal employer. If your plans imply a long-term, indefinite placement, forming a Czech entity or transitioning the individual to direct employment is usually advisable. Tax and payroll context. Employers should budget for Czech statutory costs, roughly a third of gross pay for employer social and health contributions, administered via local payroll. While commercial EOR sites quote typical percentages, your definitive obligations derive from Czech law and the employee's insured bases. Ensure your provider can evidence correct filings and remittances. Posting versus local hire. An alternative to agency employment is posting an employee from a non-Czech entity to work temporarily in the Czech Republic. This engages EU posting rules, Directive 96/71 EC as transposed, with obligations on pay floors, working time, and notifications. It does not avoid immigration where applicable, nor does it replicate a domestic EOR model. Choosing between options. Decision pointers for international firms. Short project or pilot team. A licensed agency, EOR via agency, can be efficient. Insist on seeing the agency license, the temporary assignment agreement, and evidence of Czech payroll capability. Confirm equal treatment mechanics and health and safety responsibilities in writing. Remote-first specialist roles. Where candidates qualify, the Digital Nomad channel can facilitate presence in the Czech Republic for third-country IT professionals, but note that this often aligns with contractor rather than employee status. If you need true employment, align with standard employment blue cards instead. Compliance checklist. Immigration route, matched to role and nationality. Track embassy-specific quota availability when planning start dates. Written temporary assignment agreement if using an agency, reflecting equal treatment and health and safety duties. Verify the license and 2024 compliance updates. Payroll and social contributions remitted locally. Net pay illustrations should reflect Czech tax rules and insured bases, not generic EOR assumptions. Duration planning. If assignments could exceed the typical limits, plan for entity setup or a transfer to direct employment. The near-term outlook. With employment at record highs, foreign labor's share at historic peaks, and quotas now skewed toward high-skilled inflows, local firms will continue to rely on international hires to fill gaps, particularly in tech, engineering, and specialized manufacturing. For international companies, the Czech Republic remains attractive for Central European operations, but EOR must be implemented in its legal form, licensed agency employment or lawful secondment, with careful attention to regulatory tweaks. Expect immigration processing to be more predictable for senior profiles than for lower-skilled cohorts, and build timeline contingencies accordingly.